the next step is to go ahead and set up the email services. So you'll notice when you get to your email services, it's going to pop up this message. And it's going to say to create a dedicated domain. Well, if I click X right now, before I click on that, you'll notice it's linked to lc.messagebuiltcrm.com, meaning everyone has technically an email in the account, but it's a default built one. The domain reputation is probably trashed because how many people don't set up their emails in here. And so if you try sending an email right now, it will likely not even send or it'll go to spam. Okay. So we need to set up our own domain inside here, our own subdomain. And in order to do this, all you have to do is click on dedicated domain and IP, or you could have clicked that button that popped up. But we're going to click on dedicated domain and IP. Again, we're going to use the same domain that we already have in our DNS setting. So it's probably good for you to set up your website and your email at the same time so you can just get it out of the way. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to add the domain and we're going to give it a subdomain. We can follow the same principles, use LC, and then probably just paste in your domain. Okay. You can change LC to whatever you want, but if you change the LC to something else and you're watching my tutorial and you're following it step by step, you just have to replace the word LC with whatever word you want. So I know some people like to use reply, some people like to use email, some people like to use maybe a user's name, right? I'm just going to put LC because it's simple, right? We all know what it means. It stands for lead connector, but we also know it's just a subdomain. And eventually, you're going to probably end up using multiple email accounts anyway. So you might want to differentiate it in different ways. But for this example, we're going to use LC and we're going to go ahead and click on add and verify. Now, it's going to be the exact same process that we just did, right? We're going to add records manually. Okay. And just the difference is there's more records. Okay. So we need TXT files. We need two of them. We need a CNAME and we need two MX files. So if I go back to GoDaddy, right, in our DNS settings and we add a record, well, we need two TXT files, right? And depending on what system you're using, you might only be able to add one record at a time, right? So just if you're not able to do them all together at once, that's fine. Just do them one by one. But so two TXTs, we're going to need a CNAME, and then we're also going to need two MX records. And there is one more record we need to add also after this. It's called a DMARC record. But we'll have to wait until the next step. Okay. So these are the five. Now we need to put in the names and the values, right? And then you'll notice that the MX records have a priority. If you have this, right? I think when you do it in Squarespace, it's a little bit weird. That's why I wanted to give you the tutorial for it. I'll definitely get you the tutorial. But they want you to do your MX records together in Squarespace. But again, I'll get you that tutorial to show you. So right now we just want to follow this, and we're just going to copy and paste, right? Everything that's inside of BILT right now, this is the records. We just put them in. We're going to copy the host and we're going to copy the required value. So let me just copy and paste these real quick. Host, we're going to paste it. We're going to get the value and we're going to paste it. We're going to go back. We're going to get this. And again, we're going to paste it. And if you know what you're doing, right, you're pretty much just copying and pasting everything down the line, right? There's no right way to do this. You're just copying and pasting. So let's just make sure everything in here is set up and then we'll be good to go to move on to the next step. And last one. All right, so we're going to go ahead and save all records. Verify that you have everything in here, though, before you go ahead and save. For me, it'll take me, 30 seconds to do. For you, you might want to understand what you're doing, too. All right, so now that we have all those records in here, if we go back and we click on Verify Records, you'll notice that they're going to fail. And that's fine. Maybe some of them get verified, but really we still need to add the last DMARC one in here anyways. So we're going to add another TXT file. This is really, really important. If you don't do this, a lot of your emails will go to spam. So we're going to add one more record, a TXT file, right? we're just following in this last one, right? And we're going to copy DMARC, which is the host name, and we're going to go back and put it under the name. And if you have a space, go ahead and remove it. Make sure there's no spaces before and after. And then the value, same idea. We're going to copy it and we're going to paste it. Okay. Again, there are some additional things you could add to this, right? Like forward it to an email address. I'm not going to go over that because it's not that important right now. But we're going to go ahead and click save. All right, now that that's success, if we go back and we click on verify records or verify domain, it's going to fail. Okay, so it failed, right? But we can click on verify now. Now, pay attention to this process because it might fail again, and that's perfectly fine. We just have to do the same thing all over again. We're going to click verify now, right? And oh, well, lucky me, we actually got verified, right? So they're all verified. We click on verify domain. If for whatever reason that one of them failed, you just go back and you click it again. Okay. But yeah, so what we want to see here is SSL issued, right? SSL issued means basically, okay, well, this is a safe, certificate, based off your domain. You probably paid for it. But at the end of the day, now we can actually start sending emails using this subdomain. So this is really, really important. Once you start getting into this and you start actually doing cold email marketing or sending LOIs, or maybe you just have different brands you're running or business models, we're going to want to assign users to it. You want to add more domains, especially if you want to scale, because this one subdomain can only send 30, let's say, per day cold. But if you already have a relationship with that person and you're talking, well, now you can send as many emails as you want. So of course there is that reputation, there is the limitations and stuff like that we want to make sure that we're following for compliance. So the same process I did for one, if you wanted to have 10 domains, right, to send out 300 offers, well, you just keep adding more domains. Okay.